phone call. Get someone, text someone, call them right now, get them on this phone call. Staff, I believe we are ready. Well, welcome and thank you to the Plant Better Mindset phone call. This call is designed to pour into you so you can pour into the lives of others. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr., and I will be your farming partner, and I will help you plant better seeds so you can have a quality of life that is worthy of you. I have my staff in front of me as always. Don't worry about nothing. I have my staff in front of me as always. Everything is good. Can we get some noise in this place? There we go. All right. Don't worry. Everything is happening the way it should. Everybody is great. We even got the youngest of the Plant Better Knights in here, and he's here soaking up information at 2 years old. Listen, let's move now into the announcement section of this phone call. We do have a podcast, Brick by Brick, the motivational podcast by myself and my assistant. You can find it on Stitcher platform, Podomatic platform, and of course on iTunes. Don't sleep on this podcast because it is a top-ranked podcast. It's in the business section. You can find it if you Google Brick by Brick. Or you can also find it if you just go to Stitcher, iTunes, anything like that. Brick by Brick by Antonio Smith, the Motivational Podcast. It is a top-ranked business podcast. I believe today it's number 3 or 4. 3. It's number 3 in business today. So get that. You don't want to miss it. If you miss any part of this phone call, don't panic. Like many other phone calls, you will hear that this phone call on the podcast. Do you have a business idea? Listen, if you have a business idea, fret not. I've come here to help you. I have built a 6-figure company and another company that I will not disclose that dollar amount. And what you need to understand is I did it all from $0, and I am going to give away free tips starting Wednesday, May 10th, for you to get an understanding of how to build a business from zero. If you're someone who is saying, well, I don't need to build a business, don't worry about that, because you always have to sell yourself and you do need money. If you're someone who says, well, money doesn't matter, well, if you want to travel the country, guess what? You need money. If you're someone who says money doesn't matter, well, if you want to sleep in an air-conditioned room, you need money. Either way, I'm going to give you every single thing that you need to move forward in the life of you. Also, you can go to the ATSJR, and you can go there and get all sorts of resources right now. Plenty of resources for you to have, to hold, and to cherish. This is a great thing. I offer one-on-one coaching. You can meet me or inbox me after this phone call for that coaching. Now, if you are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. No, you remember that? No? Okay. Yeah. That's from boxing. Anyway, if you are ready, I invite you right now to get your note app on your phone, get a pen, pad, your journal, however you do it. Take notes, because you got a question already? Take notes, and we will be having a great time in here. Let's talk now about climbing out of your trash can. In 1981, I was born into planet Earth by usual borning ways. I am not of the Immaculate Conception. I am not your Lord and Savior. It's just a regular dude born by regular ways. We'll say that. Okay, I have kids we got kids in the room. Either way, here's what you need to understand. By 1987, I was homeless. And I was homeless all the way into 1997. I would be adopted in 1997 and age out of CPS custody in 2000. Now, again, let me warn everybody who's on this phone call and may be watching now. If you are empathetic, you will feel this phone call a lot more, because this will be one of the few phone calls in which I would say a lot about myself, because we're climbing out of a trash can. I would be homeless for quite some time, and around 11 years old, I'd find me a trash can, a dumpster, and I'd find it outside the Golden Globe building. I would spend most of my childhood in this trash can. I would eventually climb my way out of it, and then climb my way into passports and planes and everything else that a person deserves. But first, I had to get out of my trash can. And that's what we're going to talk about. Because I need you to understand that I was not homeless by my own doing. I was 6. I did not smoke the drugs. I did not make the decisions. I do not have a problem with my parents. As a matter of fact, I was with my dad this very morning. He is in prison, and I see him almost every single weekend. I need you to understand that you are going to be placed in this life in which other people will put you in a trash can. To be inside the will of God is to be outside the will of people. To be inside the will of your dreams is to be crucified by other people. Now, you don't have to be religious, and this is not a religious phone call by far. What you need to understand is there will be times in your life where you will go through trash, and you will not be the person who put you there. Are you there now? Are you divorced because your spouse did something that they should not have done? Is your credit messed up because you are divorced? You're going to be in a place in which your life would take turns that you did not put in the GPS coordinates. And I'm going to teach you by the end of this phone call that when life blows the crap out of you, you will be able to handle it, and where your feet may lie is where you need to be at for the next level of your life. Listen to what I just said. You can control many things in your life, but you cannot control the hurricanes that blow you away. You can control many things in your life, but you cannot control the older person who molested you. You can control many things in life, but you cannot control the family in which you were born. You can control many things in life. Some things you cannot control, but what you can control is your reaction to them. So I'm going to give you 3 ways to get out of your trash can. What is a trash can? Let's define it briefly. It was a place that I found prosperity in the middle of poverty. It was a place that shielded me when other people hurt me. It was a place that I found myself all alone and everybody forgot about me, to include my birthday. Have you been there? So here's what we're going to do. You're going to have to not be arrogant to receive the next part of this phone call. If you're in a bad place in your life, that's the trash can. If you do not have prosperity in your life, you're in a trash can. If you do not have the things that you desire, you're in a trash can. The first thing you must do is change your perception. Listen, you're getting nowhere. Everything you've done up to this point in your life, if you don't have what you want, if you don't live how you desire to live, your perception has guided you there. Listen to me. I'm trying to help you. Everything that you have in your life, your mind has generated it before your body followed. If you're in poverty, your mind is a poverty mind. And sometimes it takes big changes, and sometimes it takes small changes. But in order for you to change anything, you must change your perception. Why? Because perception is reality, both scientifically and psychologically. Your perception will lead to the life in which you live. You see, when I was homeless, I thought everybody forgot about me, and they did. And I held on to the fact that everybody forgot about me, and it affected how I interacted with other people. You see, when I thought everybody forgot about me, I deemed myself invisible. Think about this for a second. Some of you, you go into a crowded building and you find yourself to the first corner you can get to. Some of you are in relationships and you're not seen. Because since you believe that no one sees you, you never allow your gifts to be seen. Listen to me. Some of you are only in a bad situation because you keep yourself unseen. You're the greatest thing that has ever happened to planet Earth. You're most certainly the greatest thing that ever happened to your child. You're the greatest thing that ever happened to you. But you won't let you shine because you decided to be invisible. And the reason why you are invisible is because you have decided that no one sees you. And since no one sees you, then you decided, I'm never going to be seen. Now this is real. Think about this for a second. Think about growing up homeless the way I did. Think about growing up homeless from 6 to 14, adopted at 14, and then growing up with people you barely know until from 14 to 18. Think about this for a second. Think about having no relationship with your mother. Think about having no relationship with your father. Think about how that would make you feel about other people who have a relationship with mothers and fathers. It was a time in my life in which I was angry because you had a parent and I did not. But not only that, if you had two, I'd try to knock your whole head off. And so I learned how to fight with my fist. And I stopped learning how to fight with my mind. And so since I was violent, since I reacted because other people had things that I desired, I'm going somewhere. I decided the trash can is what I deserved. How about you? How many of you are in relationships that are trash because you've convinced yourself that's what you deserve? How many of you are in jobs that no longer serve you because you've convinced yourself that job is what you deserve? How many of you are in bad positions with bad people and bad churches and bad mosques and bad whatever? Because you decided that the only thing I deserve in my life is trash. It's incredible. Because when I was homeless, when I was a little 6-year-old kid, I forced myself to believe that I deserve what my parents did to me. How many of you are in abusive relationships because you've allowed someone to convince you of your worth? Never let somebody else put the negative expectations on you. So let's teach you how to change your perception. Number one, you need this. If you want to change your perception, if you want to change how you see things, you need to instantly decide to take charge of your life. Listen, you need to instantly decide to take charge of your life. You will not ever be successful blaming other people for where you are. It would never happen. It would never, ever happen. You would never be successful blaming other people for where they are. You would never be successful blaming other people for where you are. Yes, your circumstances did not end up the way you wanted to be, but yes, you have a responsibility not to let what other people do affect your life. Yes, you have a responsibility not to let other people affect your life. Yes, you don't have the best situation, but no, you don't have an opportunity to make excuses. Yes, you have not the best money, but no, you don't have any excuses not to save. Some of you are dead broke because you decided you don't have enough money to save. Save 10% of all your income, even if you make $1 a day. So if you want to change your perception, you have to first stop blaming other people. Take charge of your life. How can you lead a life that is successful when you keep telling yourself other people keep you from being successful? Think about that for a second. If you believe in some sort of God, think about this for a second. You're saying you're so weak that other people are the gods of your life. Think about that. When you blame other people, you say you're so weak that these other people are the gods of my life. How can that be? They don't decide how old you are. They didn't decide when you're born. They cannot ball up time and throw it at you. Neither can they stretch out time. Neither do they decide when you be blessed. Basically, nobody can control you but you, and you are the only thing that is stopping you from being what you want to be. You cannot control how people behave, but you can control your response to them. So here's a way that you can immediately take charge of your life. It's 2 words. Press pause. Some of you are in poverty because you never pause and choose the prosperous situation. You can have an extraordinary life if you commit to making extraordinary decisions every minute of your life. Here's the second way you can change your perception. Change your mind. Change the voice in your mind from saying I can from I cannot. Some of you have an I can't attitude, and that is exactly why I can't be around you. Some of you have an I can't attitude, and you wonder why you're not prosperous, because nobody wants to be around you. Nobody wants to be around you. They like you. They just don't like the harvest that you have. Come on. I'm going to get with it today. They like you as a person. They just don't like the fruit that you produce. Because negative people produce negative harvest. And I can't people produce I can't harvest. And I don't know about you, but I am tired of I can't people, I can't harvest, especially being my I can situations. Change your perception. You'll never climb out the bad situations in your lives if you think you cannot. How can you climb when you've already given up before you started? Some of you have given up well before you started. Some of you have books and you'll never finish them because you convince yourself you're not a writer. You don't even need to be a writer to sell a book. As a matter of fact, let me help you, authors out there. The most popular books on planet Earth are written at a 3rd grade reading level. The books that sell are written at a 3rd grade reading level. You don't have to be a good writer. You just have to know how to sell your book. So maybe if you claim that you're the hustler that you say you are, stop worrying about the writing and start worrying about the selling. Because I can write the greatest book on planet Earth, but if I don't know how to sell it, it's going nowhere. Some of you have websites with no traffic. And just like you have websites with no traffic, you have prosperity with no harvest. And the reason why you have prosperity with no harvest is because you haven't changed your perception. Let's explain it. You think that since you don't have a car, that's prosperity. No. You have the ability to walk on your own. That's prosperity. But you have no harvest because you don't appreciate your legs and being able to walk. Some of you breathe without the aid of a machine. You're not on dialysis. You don't have a very bad disease. You literally sit here and get yourself out of bed every single morning, and you get yourself out of bed just to stay in bed. And so what you need to do with your life is you need to understand that you can do whatever you want to do if you simply change your perception. Here's a third way you can change your perception. Stop focusing on what's bad and focus on what's good. Sounds simple, right? 1987. Mr. Kovacevic. You'll hear a lot about him. He owned Kovacevic Bakery in Galveston, Texas. Right on 37th and Broadway. Kovacevic Bakery. These are facts. You can look them up. He would literally give you 13 donuts for a quarter. And the good thing I had as I put myself through school, signing my mom's papers, I'd get out trash cans. I'd get out foster homes. I'd run away. I'd walk to L.A. Morgan Elementary School because they would feed me twice a day. And I would go to Kovacevic with a dime, and he would literally give me 3 to 6 donuts. Now watch this here. Donuts made me forget I was homeless. Don't miss it. 3 to 6 donuts temporarily made me forget that I was going home to somewhere that was not my home. And I'm not talking about, listen, I know you guys glamorize homelessness. Your homeless and my homeless are 2 totally different things. I'm saying no house, no car, no anything, stuffing my shirt with newspapers to stay warm, borrowing Vaseline or getting it from the store or stealing it from the store so I can cover my face with Vaseline so mosquitoes wouldn't bite through my neck. And all this situation and donuts made me forget that I was homeless. Where are the donuts in your life? Where are the donuts in your life? Now, I'm not saying you have to get happy over food. Now, if that makes you happy. But maybe your donuts are your grandmother. Maybe your life isn't as bad as you claim it to be because you're looking at all the wrong stuff. Maybe your donuts is your new circle. Maybe your donuts is your ability to walk, breathe, live, adjust. Maybe you can have a good life if you decide to focus on the donuts in your life. Now, I don't know about you. And let me tell you, Kovacevic didn't have the best donuts. Let me just say, I know anybody from Galveston, Texas understand my man. I don't know if he's probably dead now. But my man did not have soft donuts. Okay? I'm not even sure if he was shut down. I have no idea what happened to this guy's bakery. What I do know for sure is the donuts weren't the greatest, but they made me feel the greatest. See, don't miss this. Because some of you are feeling bad because your blessings don't come the way you want them to come. You miss the fact that you have a house, but since it's not the house you want, you are angry at it. You have the person who loves you, but you're greedy, so you want more. Some of you are so greedy that you lose everything that you have in this life because you haven't learned how to appreciate the donuts in your life. Maybe your life isn't that good, but if you can appreciate the donuts, you can get out your trash can. Every single day that I got those donuts, every day, and I was a little snotty-nosed kid wearing the same clothes every day. Every day I had the same clothes on. But donuts found their way to me. Maybe if you focus on the good, you'll actually get some good. You'll never climb out of your trash can being angry with what's outside of it. So listen, then you need to start acknowledging the good things about yourself. So here was the problem. And maybe you grew up like me, maybe you didn't. Maybe you grew up with your grandmother. I don't know. But let me tell you what I did. I went through so many different stages. My parents left me. I blamed myself for their marriage. Anybody ever done that? Right? You get divorced, you blame your parents. You blame yourself. If I was just a better kid, if I didn't cost so much. I even went to the fact, I even went, you know what? If I didn't eat that meal, maybe they could have afforded to whatever, right? I did all these things. And I shift all these phases, and phase after phase after phase, I blame me for what was happening in my life. Now, in some respects, that is right, but not in this one. The truth is, the only way I got out of my trash can is because I remembered how smart I am. Let me help you. in the second grade and all throughout school, if you know me, I don't write anything down. I don't take notes. If I take notes, it's for other people. That's why I put it on social media. I don't take notes. I don't write anything down. You know why I don't write anything down? Because if you remember going to school, everybody had the little school list, the napkins, number 2 pencils, pencil sharpener, the Elmer's glue, and the Trapper Keepers. Not me. Can't have that. I didn't have a home until I was 14. I got school supplies. That is impossible. And so what I would do, this is honest to God truth, what I would do is I'd literally get to school and I'd borrow a pack of paper, one of my friends, pack of paper and some pencils, like just enough that I can carry because I had no backpack, just enough that I can carry. And here's what happened. About week 3, I'd run out because that's what happens when you're in school. Mm-hmm. Now, I can't take notes. I have no pencils, and I can't take notes. So I literally had to rely on my memory. Long division, English, no matter what it was, I had to literally rely on my memory. These are all verifiable facts. I've been to jail for walking for truancy because I was a kid. I got in trouble for being homeless because the system is all messed up. Listen, check this out. I literally was not able to take notes. And not even knowing it, it would give me the greatest memory on planet Earth. Now watch this here. How many bad things are happening in your life that are actually blessings in disguise? How many of you have gone through the worst days of your life only to find out it's the best thing that ever happened to you that you never want to go through again? Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. The reason that I have, if you know me personally, you know. Some of you, I can see you online. Some of you went to college with me. I ain't write down anything. I still don't write things down. I have no desire to write things down. I put it all in my head because I was homeless. And today, I travel the whole world speaking. And I literally write down my entire speeches and memorize them. All because I was homeless. Don't watch it. Listen, don't miss it. Today, people pay me to memorize my speeches. And the only reason I memorize my speeches is because I didn't have notebook paper. How many of you are missing your financial breakthroughs? You're missing all the breakthroughs in your life because you're mad at that you don't have paper. Can you imagine if I'd have quit when I was in second grade? Can you imagine all the people I've touched thus far? Can you imagine had I quit? Because let me tell you, if you haven't noticed, if you're looking at me right now, I know it's a shock, but I'm a black guy. I know that surprises you. I know you're totally surprised that I'm black. I get it because you don't see colors. But listen, a black homeless kid in urban America dropping out of school in the second grade, the odds are not good for him. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. But the reason why I create great odds for the rest of the world is because I had the courage to change my perception and not recognize the odds that were against me. Some of you are single mothers going to school and you're letting other people discourage you. Do you know how many single mothers have done what you are doing? Do you understand how many people have gone before you after you have gone before you? So many different people have rushed past life and won in your same situation. So what you need to do is you need to understand, if you change your perception, you change your reality. Number 2, okay? So number 1, if you want to climb out your trash can, change your perception. Number 2, find your hope. How can you climb the new heights with no hope? How can you soar to your greatness with no hope? Hope is stronger than muscles, and a person that has no hope has no future. You see, in that trash can, I literally had to hope that I would get out of it. I literally had to hope past my situation. You can call it belief, you can call it prayer, you can call it faith. I don't care what you call it, but if it pulls you, you will succeed in this life. If what you have pulls you, see, pull is stronger than push, Tony Robbins would tell you. And you need some stuff, not that pushes you, but pulls you to where you want to go. And you cannot move in this life being pushed. You must move in this life being pulled. What's pulling you? Here's what pull looks like. What's that dream keeping you up at 3 o'clock in the morning? You go to sleep and you ask yourself, you say, self, why are you not asleep? And that dream won't let you go. Some of you right now, I've been talking this whole time and you're on fire right now. You thought about 15 book titles. Do you have enough pull in you to actually write those titles down? Some of you have forgotten the greatest ideas on planet Earth that could have made you billionaires. You know why? Because life has a funny way of giving you what you need to be successful. But if you don't move with life, life will move all over you. If you don't move with these inspired ideas, if you don't move with life, life will move all over you. Opportunity does not wait for people to get out their low self-esteem. Opportunity did not wait on me to get out my trash can. I wouldn't be a world-renowned speaker today had I given up in my trash can. I retired when I was 29 years old because I decided that my trash can no longer served me. Are you living a life in a place, in a relationship, in a status, in a whatever, and it doesn't serve you? How many of you are waiting for opportunities while you're in the trash can? Because let me tell you, listen to me. There is no opportunity that will ever wait on you. You need to find your hope, and your hope will move you and shift you past a place that is worthy of you. Not to the place that's worthy of you, but past the place that is worthy of you. Also, if you want to get out your trash can, if you want to find this hope, this is still a number 2. So you need to surround yourself with optimism. There is a biblical story, okay? Now, this is not a biblical call, and I say it all the time. Let's think about this story. There's a biblical story, whether you're atheist or not, that has some great credence that we need to talk about. There was a guy in John chapter 5, and he was a lame man by the pool of Bethesda. And he's sitting here, he's by this pool, and his Savior asked him, who is Jesus, hey buddy, do you want to be made whole? And instead of the man answering the question, the man gave an excuse. You know, listen, guy that can heal me, dude that can help me. I ain't got nobody to take me down by the pool. And when they do go by the pool, people beat me to it. Some of you have been in the pool so long, you have a pool mentality. Some of you are been in your trash can so long, you have a trash can mentality. Listen, think about this for a second. Like help yourself for a second. If you hang around the wrong people, they will literally become the right people to keep you in poverty. Please write that down. If you keep hanging around the wrong people, they will eventually become the right people to keep you in poverty. Let me help you out just for a second. The world is already set in place and set in motion, and wherever you are, there are rules to uphold your poverty condition. You have the ability to break out these rules. Why would you let the people around you keep you in poverty? Now let's break this down. Because surrounding yourself in optimism is not what the lame man did. That biblical text says he's there almost 30-something years. Think about this for a second. 30 years, nobody took him to the pool. Think about this for a second. 30 years, and nobody took him to the pool. Some of you are 35 years old, and you got people been in your life for 35 years, and they have not made your life better. Oh my goodness. And listen, if you're going to be successful, you need to learn how to let unsuccessful people go. Just because you love them doesn't mean they deserve your next level. They can be recipients of the harvest of your next level, but they will not get you to the next level. Listen to what I just said. I would have never got out of my trash can dealing with all the homeless people around. I kid you not. The people around me, when I grew up from 6 to 14 homeless, they literally are in jail, dead, or still homeless. You will never, ever, ever soar like eagles hanging with trash can people. Some people only want what they have. There's nothing wrong with that. Some of you know people on Section 8. They buy their big screen TVs, 60 inches. They live on government housing. They get $700 a month in food stamps, and they don't want anything. If they're not complaining, good for them. If they're complaining, terrible for them. Because if you're complaining about your life, only you have the power to change it. Some of you are trying to be millionaires with people who only want Section 8. Listen, I know people who literally have more children than they can afford just to keep their poverty condition. These are not the people that will fly with you to Rome. You cannot get to Rome with people who love the hood. And you can't get to Rome with people who are afraid to fly. And you can't get to Rome with people who get seasick. You cannot be afraid to fly and afraid of turbulence. I mean, you can't fly and be afraid of turbulence at the same time. At some point, you have to move literally past fear. All your blessings, all the trash can after prosperity you will have in this life will come after you pass your fear. Now watch this here. Here's where we fail. Here's another way I got out of my trash can. Still in number 2. I allowed inspiration to come in. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There's the kicker. Now we got to talk about it. Some of you are so mad you won't even let people tell you anything good. You won't listen. You won't listen to anything good. You won't listen to advice. You won't do anything. You are so sad that you put on sad music and you write sad songs and you write sad poems and your house is dark, and you say, I just like it dark. I don't like the light. If you don't let clean water in, you will continue to be dirty water. And I understand that life happens to people. I completely get the fact that you can grow up in bad situations. That doesn't mean that you have to only keep bad situations in your head. Learn how to play a new song in your mind. Some of you are not successful because you keep playing all the bad stuff. You just did a good moment, and then you resist this breakthrough because you want to be sad. When I was a kid, the only time you would find me happy is when I was angry. The only time you would find me happy is when I was angry. I was so addicted to anger. Unless I was punching a hole through a wall, I wasn't happy. And some of you understand what I'm saying. Some of you are so sad that the only thing that you can do is be happy because you're sad. You have to literally let go of your sadness. Here's another way that you can get hope. Be courageous. Do you know how much courage it takes to be a 6-year-old homeless kid? Can you imagine the things that I've seen? What if I turn the microphone on you? Some of you are past the worst day of your life because you were courageous enough to keep walking. And if you don't keep walking past pain, you will stay in pain. There's a woman, she was driving. And as she was driving, she was having a good time with her father. And they were laughing and joking, and all of a sudden a storm came up as fast as possible. And the woman, was the daughter of the man. And one day, years before, she had a very terrible accident. Terrible accident. Terrible accident. And it was in the rain. So now, every time it rains, she's afraid to drive. And so the rain got harder, bashed on the windshield, beat on the windshield, and she was pulling over. And her dad said, no, keep driving. Her being a good daughter, respectful of her father, she kept driving. As the rain got even harder, it got even harder. Her dad said, keep driving. Finally, the young lady couldn't see 2 feet in front of her. Cars were on the left side of the road. Cars were on the right side of the road. And she says that no matter what you say, I'm pulling over. He grabbed the wheel and said, baby, keep driving. And 5 minutes later, the car drove out of the rain. Then the father said, now, baby, you can pull over. I have something to say. As she pulled over, the father said, don't stop driving in the storms of your life. Because you will make the storm last longer if you stay still. But if you keep driving through it, you will get out the storm faster. You know, you don't have to be talented. You don't have to be smart. You just got to keep moving forward. You don't have to be thin. You don't have to be white. You don't have to be black. You don't have to be Jew or Gentile. You just have to keep moving forward. You have to literally keep moving. If you fall forward. Do you understand that there are baseball players who get paid millions of dollars to strike out? If you bat 3 out of 10, you can make millions of dollars in baseball. That's failing 7 times. And they pay you millions of dollars. Now think about this. In order to fail 7 times in the baseball league, you have to literally fail as a kid in practice. fail in high school, fail in middle school, fail in college. You have to strike out so many different times that you literally are a failure. But if you keep failing forward, you'll be a millionaire. Okay, that don't make sense? Let me help you out. When your child, or if you don't have any children, your nephew or you, when they begin to walk, think about this for a second. The baby gets up and starts walking. Nope. The baby gets up and falls. And then crawling, waving back and forth, and then falls again. And then falls again. Over 1,000 times, this child would try to walk and fail. What if that child acted like you? How many of you are willing to fail 1,000 times just to walk into your destiny? Think about this for a second. You're all geniuses at walking. You are magnificent walkers. You walk so much you can chew gum and walk at the same time. You walk in heels and stilettos. You walk in flip-flops. You can walk barefoot. Some of you walk so good that the best way you run, you take off your shoes and you start running. You're faster when you take off your shoes. But imagine if you would have stopped learning how to walk because you failed. Now, some of you are literally driving through this life, failing, and you stopped failing at 2 or 3 times, and it would have took you 1,000 times to get it right. Listen, I'm not here to tell you that you should fail all the time. I am here to tell you that you'll never be successful if you don't fail. Number 3, embrace rejection. You see, when I was homeless, Wise Intermediate School, I failed the 5th grade. I forged some papers as always, went back to school, went back to summer school, or went to summer school, passed. Then I went to the 6th grade, and then I failed. All this verified, it is written down. I did not graduate on time. I failed the 5th grade and the 6th grade, back to back. And I quit school because I was embarrassed. I couldn't handle the rejection. Now, eventually I'd graduate with honors in the 12th grade. I'd graduate as a president of Honor Society with my bachelor's, and I'd graduate number 1 in my class with my master's. But before I ever accomplished any of that, I got so hungry in my trash can, I decided I'm going back to school. Now watch this here. They made fun of me. They did not let me make it. I was the little boy that wore the same thing every day. My teeth were yellow and my hair was nappy. I did not smell like Febreze. I don't even think Febreze was out in the 80s. I did not smell like potpourri or incense, okay, or cologne or white diamonds or whatever it is that you wore. I didn't do any of that. They made fun of me. But I knew that if I can handle my trash can, I can handle your jokes. Some of the people in your life, you're trying to change and they keep making fun of you. And if you're not careful, or if you're not lucky, some of these people will be your parents. Some of these people will be your aunts and your aunts. You don't, why are you over there? Why are you in another network marketing company? And they'll laugh at you. And the only way to truly be successful in this life is for you to be able to handle rejection. Here's how you handle rejection. Acknowledge your emotions. Acknowledge them. When you have mastered your own emotions, no one else can make you feel anything less than what you've mastered. When you've mastered your own emotions, no one can make you feel a terrible way. You see, I spent my entire childhood musty. So if I have a non-deodorant day in my mid-30s, and you laugh at me, you are not going to hurt me. I have some tough skin when it comes to being musty. Because I've mastered my own emotions. Now, I'm not saying I walk out here trying to be musty. I am saying that you can't make fun of me because my emotions are mastered. I don't react if I don't want to react. I don't get angry if I don't want to get angry. And I won't let you put me back in that trash can because you don't like where I'm going. Did you hear what I just said? Some of the people in your life will put you back in that trash can psychologically because they can't handle where you're going. Some of the people in your life will put you in your trash can psychologically because they cannot handle where you are going. I'm going to say it again because I feel like I need to say it again. Listen to me. Some people cannot handle where you are going. And since they can't handle where you're going, they'll pull you back to where you don't want to be. And those people, you need to release. In order for you to get to where you want to go, you got to master your emotions. Now watch this here. If you want to embrace rejection, here's one of the most powerful things you can do. View rejection as evidence. Literally. View rejection as evidence. Thank you, Daisha. I see you. I see your comment. Appreciate you. Right? View rejection as evidence. Think about this. What kind of evidence? I don't care. Wherever you're going, if you're being rejected, you going somewhere. Let's break this down scientifically. Newton's first law of motion says an object at rest will remain at rest until an unbalanced force acts upon it. Or if you're moving, you're going to stay moving. If you at rest, you're going to stay at rest. The only thing that stops motion is an object appearing and slowing down your motion. Listen, if you're not moving, objects can't appear. Oh, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to scientifically help you. If you're not moving, gravity can't slow you down. If you're not walking, the floor can't hold you. Some of you are only experiencing rejection because you're moving. Keep moving. The rejection is a sign of your forward movement. Let's explain this in nature. Listen, animals don't eat dead animals. Insects do. Even the lion isn't trying to eat dead. Animals will literally walk past carcasses and find something live to kill. The reason why some of you are unbothered is because you're dead. You're just walking. And the reason why no one's bothering you is because you are already dead. Now, one of the most powerful things I did. One of the most powerful things I did. This is what a phone call is. One of the most powerful things I did. I wrote it in my book, Keep Walking. I'm not sure if it's on my, it might be on my website for free right now. It changes back and forth. If it is, go see it. I put it up for free. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. Is it free? 99 cents. Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's what you do. If you, on this phone call, email info@theatsjr.com and I'll email you my book for free. Okay? I email you this book for free. I'm not even trying to do a shameless plug. You had a book for free. There's a chapter in the book called 10 Minutes at a Time. Let me bless you. I hated my entire life. Listen, think about it. I'm 6 years old. I'm like 90 pounds. If that, soaking wet. 7 years old. 91 pounds. 8 years old. I was a 25-year-old man at 154 pounds. I wasn't, listen. I hated where I was, and I hated who I was, and I hated what they did to me. And I literally kept trying to commit suicide. And then it dawned on me, I can't handle tomorrow. I can't make it to the end of the day. So here's what I did. I stopped trying to make it to the end of the day. I start making it 10 minutes at a time. Listen to this. This saved my entire life, and I give it to you for free. I didn't read this nowhere. I made this up in my head. I literally could not survive the night. Because remember, I knew I had to go back to a trash can. So the night wasn't joyous for me. And I knew I didn't like the day because the kids would make fun of me. So the day wasn't joyous for me. I knew the evenings wouldn't work out for me because the evenings I had to fight for both my life and my food. I hated my life. And when I hated my life, I decided if I can't enjoy my life, I can at least look forward to the next 10 minutes. And I created a philosophy in my head. I'm just going to live 10 minutes at a time. I literally said, okay, just survive the next 10 minutes. Just survive the next 10 minutes. Just survive the next 10 minutes. And I was like, whoa, that wasn't too bad. And watch the progression here. Then I went, wait, just be happy for the next 10 minutes. Just be happy for the next 10 minutes. Now watch the progression. Wait, just do something great in the next 10 minutes. And then when something bad would happen to me, watch the progression. All right, that was bad. I didn't like it. They made fun of me. But you know what? Let's get to 10 minutes. Let's see if we can get past this in the next 10 minutes. Okay, guess what? I'm not past it yet. Let's try to get back past it in the next 10 minutes. Oh, guess what? I'm not past it yet. Let's try to get past it in the next 10 minutes. I'm not past it yet. Sometimes it took me 9-10 minutes. But then I finally got past it. Now here's what you may have missed. I'll break it down. It's very simple. Something bad happened to me. It took me 9-10 minutes to get past it. It takes y'all 9 days to get past something. I didn't have 24-hour days. I had 10-minute days. So I was literally progressing and maturing faster than anybody else around me because I was maturing every 10 minutes. And so where you have one 24-hour day, I literally had whatever the math is for 24 hours worth of 10 minutes. Literally. That's what I did. 24 times 60. Okay? And then divide that by 10. That's what I had. I had hundreds of days in one day. Why is this important? Here's why it's important. Because the real way, the most important way I got on my trash can was I had to realize that anything bad happened to me, I had 10 minutes to brush it off. Anything good happened to me, I had 10 minutes to repeat it. And I could never do enough good because 10 minutes from now, I never did it. I got to do it again. And I could never have enough bad happen to me because 10 minutes from now, I let it go. Here's what I'm saying. Life, if you have a bad one, if you don't like where you are, if you can't get to tonight, get to the next 10 minutes. If you have no food, if you have no hope, if your marriage isn't working, don't get to the 50 years. Get to the next 10 minutes. Because sometimes life hurts so bad that all you have is 10 minutes. And when you get to that 10 minutes, you'll change your entire life. My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. I cannot tell you what to do with your life. I can tell you if you decide to plant better seeds, 10 minutes at a time, you will change your life. This is how I got out of my trash can. I spent 8 years homeless. As a matter of fact, I just saw one of the guys pop online right now. As a matter of fact, let me say this here, because one of the guys who saved my life in senior year just popped online. I just saw him, Larry Johnson. Everybody right now say thank you to Larry Johnson right now, because Larry had no idea that I was getting ready to take my whole life in the 12th grade. Him and Marlon Stevens literally saved my entire life because they were my best friends in high school in the 12th grade. I literally was so tired of my life, and I didn't like being adopted. I didn't like anything. And he is the exact example of what I said earlier. Surround yourself with some positive people. Everybody right now say, thank you, Larry, because the reason I reach 1 million people a week is because that guy, Marlon Stevens, did not let me be unhappy. Thank you for coming out. God bless you, and good night.